Unique Mecca Audio, man. I'm here. I'm going to break down to you so you understand how this works, because everybody talk about, if they get caught, they telling, you know what I mean? And, like it's nothing and it's a joke and everybody's siding with each other. Like it's a joke, you know what I mean? But I'm going to break down the real. This is what you call an indictment. You know what I mean? This is what you call an indictment, What they do is they charge you. Look at all this. This is my indictment. All right? 36 pages. This is my indictment. They charge you with a bunch of charges. You know what I mean? A bunch of chumped up charges about anything. So as long as they have you charged with a bunch of charges, the federal government feel that it's easier to pressure you to get you to plead guilty. 36 count indictment. You know what I mean? You charged with a number of counts in indictment. And from having these counts, now they pick you up and they figure that you don't want to get, you don't want to do the time. You know what I mean? Because now they telling you, we got 36 count indictment, you're looking at this, you're looking at that, you're never going home, you're never going to see your kids, you're never going to see your woman, somebody else going to be schooling your woman, and they go through all of that. You know what I mean? These are all ways that they pressure you into doing what need to be done. You understand what I'm saying? So now you get a person coming in there that's weak. You know what I'm saying? And now they come in and they see that they got 36 pages on them. They see they have 36 pages on them. They tell them they're looking at 100 years. You understand? They're not trying to do the time. So they're not thinking about the next person. So all they thinking about is, how to get out of that. So then they tell them, okay, the way you got to do it, you got to give us somebody. So now you one person. So they expect you to give up 5 people to 10 people. You give up 5 or 10 people. You understand? Now we're only talking about 5 or 10, right? Now they grab them, they put the same pressure on them. And 9 out of 10 of them going to plead guilty, especially with today's generation thinking that it's cool to plead guilty. And then they're going to tell on 5 or 10 people. So right there off the bat, you got approximately 100 people that you done took their lives all because of your mistake and you getting caught. You know what I mean? Everything is cool to say, oh, if I get caught, I'll tell. If I get caught, I'll tell. You know what I mean? Now, while you're going through it, but when someone else get caught and then they tell on you, then now here you go saying, that's messed up. That's messed up. You know what I mean? But you were just saying that you get caught. You were telling, you laughing and smiling and kikiing all on the camera on YouTube that it's all right to tell. And I'm telling you now, it ain't no worse feeling than your comrade walking in that courtroom and pointing you out. Because the first thing they ask your comrade is, do you see the man sitting in here right now today? You know what I mean? Do you see Unique sitting in here? And they point, yeah, there he go. And this is my man saying, there he go. You understand what I'm saying? Now you put yourself in that situation for a second. Only y'all that's breaking the law. If you're not breaking the law, keep going to school, keep doing what you're doing right, and stay on the right path. But all y'all out there thinking it's sweet to break the law, I want you to know how it feels when you're sitting in there and a man that you done brought cars for, helped him buy houses, apartments, furniture, made sure he had everything that he needed. You understand? And then when them people come in, you know what I mean? All you did was look out for this man to give him a chance to put money in his pocket. And then he say, there he go. That's him right there. And the crazy part is, they don't just tell what you did, they tell what the government said you did. You know what I mean? It's a whole movie script. You know what I mean? The government sit down, they write out how they want to lock you up and what they want to go on. They talk to a bunch of different people and a bunch of different, inmates, and they get all this information. They don't know how none of the pieces of the puzzle go. All they got is a 1,000, pieces to a puzzle equivalent to 1,000 pages. You know what I mean? Of interviews. You know what I mean? Now they need one of you off the indictment that feels like, if I get caught, I'm telling, to come put these pieces together. And if it don't fit, they say, nah, that don't fit there, so you got to say this. You know what I mean? That don't fit there, so you got to say that. Could you imagine sitting there watching your comrade lay out everything that went down that nobody knew how it went down but you and your comrade? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Whatever happened to want the same thing for yourself, for your brother as you want for yourself? Whatever happened to I am my brother's keeper? I'm from another generation. I know the 90s and new millennium, children that's out there. Y'all don't really understand this because they took us older elephants off. We was bred criminals, not proud of it, not bragging about it, none of that. We was bred and raised criminals. When we decided to go on the street to make $2 and to go hustle or whatever, they told us, if you get picked up, don't say nothing, we're going to come bail you out. You know what I mean? If you go to trial, you blow trial, we're going to help you with appeal. You know what I mean? Or, we're going to make sure that your family's all right on the outside. But you know what you're getting into. You have a choice if you want to be a part of this criminal organization. You got a choice if you want to run up in this bank with Joe Bow. You know what I mean? You got a choice if you want to do the check scam with such and such. Once you sign into that agreement to do something with that person, that means that now the both of y'all is conspiring to break the law. So that means that if something happened, you both have to conspire to get out of it together, not separately, not with the government, not with the state. I'm not pushing no anti-snitching, no snitching, no ratting, no none of that. That's not what I'm pushing. I'm just breaking down how the system works. So when you find yourself in it, you already could remember that Unique Mecca Audio broke it down because he went through it and dealt with it for 26 years. That's all this is. This is not the brag. This is not the boast. This is not to say, you know what I mean? Don't do this and don't do that, because a man is going to do what he chooses to do. And like I always say, and I say it again, if you're comfortable doing whatever it is you choose to do, whether it's telling or not telling or whatever, and you can sleep good at night, that's all that matters. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to lose sleep over the man that told on me. What I'm going to do is continue to fight to get out of the situation that the man that told on me is about. That's it. I'm not going to, like the government tried to tell one of my lawyers, oh, well, tell him that he told her, where your mother's house is at. So you should tell where his mother's house is at. He told that you did this, told that, so you should tell on him. No, I fired the lawyer for even bringing that to me. Don't bring nothing to me from them people other than the discovery and the indictment. You know what I mean? So I can fight this case. That's it. All I'm trying to do is fight. I'm not trying to conspire with them. I'm not trying to do none of that. And it's not saying to be a tough guy, nothing. It's just I refuse to bring my comrades in to take my seat while I go out there and be with my family, knowing that I brought them in and took them away from their family. If you any kind of a man or woman watching this, you can't sit here and tell me that you wouldn't mind someone telling on you, or you wouldn't be mad. You can't tell me that. But then you can sit here and jump up and down and say, if you get caught, you're going to tell. But then when someone tell on you, now the shoe is on the other foot. Now they're a piece of crap. Now they're everything under the book. You know what I mean? I don't agree with that telling, never sided with that telling, not telling nobody not to tell. What I'm telling everybody is don't get involved in crime so you don't have to make these choices whether you tell or not. That's all I'm pushing right now. Don't get involved so you don't have to make the choice, so that you don't have to be put in the situation to have to tell, so you don't have to test your manhood or your womanhood. My prosecutor told me that the first thing they did, you know what I mean, that the first thing they teach them in law school is that every man has a breaking point. Now, let me say this. He didn't tell me this when I was going to trial because I refused to talk to him because we was at war. He didn't tell me this when we blew trial because I refused to talk to him because we were still at war because I was on appeal. Once I came home as a free man, I went down there with a paralegal, with an attorney, with somebody reputable to his office to go see him, because he said that my life was a waste and I'll never amount to nothing and I deserve to die in prison. And I fought my way out. Couldn't read or write when I went in, taught myself to read and write, became a certified electrician, certified plumber, certified HVAC and refrigeration specialist, certified mechanic. You understand what I'm saying? 3,500 hours of psychological training to find out why I was screwed up and so hard on these street codes that was embedded in me. I'm not proud of that, but it is what it is. They told me you good off the porch, you go into the street, These are the rules. You get caught, you don't tell. I get caught, I won't tell on you. That's what was told to me. Now, nobody may not have ever told that to you. So now you're hearing it from a man that did 26 years in prison, could refuse to tell. They picked me up in New York City and brought me down to Virginia, to Newport News, to a post office with mail bags on the floor in a post office where a man came in putting his robe on as he walked in. Stood up in between the mail bags, you know what I mean? And just said, no bail, bang. And hit a wooden hammer on the little desk and denied me bail and walked out about his business. And they did this process in a mail room in 1993. Because they didn't have federal prisons like that. Because that was the beginning of the ramp up of the war on drugs. So I'm one of them that been through it. Young Thug, Gunner, you understand what I'm saying? They threatening that other rappers is getting ready to get indicted. This is what's going to go on. They grabbed 30 of y'all and they figured that at least 25 is going to tell. So the 5 that want to go to trial, they're going to get everything they need and more from the other 25. And then once they tell, then that becomes what they call a superseding indictment. A superseding indictment. You understand? Superseding is where they got more information to give you more charges. And it's ongoing and ongoing and ongoing until after you locked up. And 2-3 years after you locked up, they still indicting people from what these other people told on other people. So these are all the lives that they destroyed. So by the time they're done, they might have 800, 1,000 men that they locked up from grabbing 28. Because everybody tell on everybody. But they wouldn't have nothing if nobody wouldn't talk. Big shout out to my man, Gene Oscar, France Oscar. You know what I mean? That's my Haitian brothers that I went to trial with down there. They had a death penalty down there in Norfolk, Virginia. Look them up. Gene and France Oscar, men of honor. You understand? While they was going through their situation, you know what I mean? They just blew trial. You know, they had a death penalty. They beat the death penalty and got sentenced to life in federal prison. They blew trial. When these brothers blew trial, they were doing what they called a PSI. You know, probation sentencing investigation report. You know what I mean? They was putting that together. While that was going together, I was getting ready to go to trial. Both of those brothers came to my trial and testified in my behalf to explain to the jury how people jump on people's case and make up stories in order to get out of jail. They already got life, but they came into my trial to try and prevent me from getting life. You hear what I'm telling you? That's men of honor. People say, oh, there's no honor amongst thieves. No, that was honor amongst thieves. I can tell you plenty of incidents. My man Yellow, another Jamaican brother from uptown with Eastwood, Banner, Jughead, Hitler, the whole crew, all men, Dre, you know, y'all know Dre in the wheelchair, good man. You know what I mean? All of those brothers, man, they came in, you know what I mean? Those brothers came in and Yellow took the stand in my behalf at my trial to also explain how the government manipulate people to tell things that's not even true just to what they call case hop on your case in order to get out of jail. So the government go and say, hey, I need you to say this and I'm going to give you a time cut. You know what I mean? And those same weak people that's sitting here on YouTube talking about I'll tell, they're going to say, give me it. And they're going to go back, they're going to memorize it, they're going to tell the story so good you're going to be looking at them questioning whether that really happened or not. Questioning whether it really happened or not when the other one was dead or supposedly dead. I had people I didn't even know come in there and point the finger and say they bought this from me, that from me. And then the lead agent came in there and saved me and didn't even know he was saving me. Because at the trial, they're not allowed to have witnesses that's going to testify in the court while the trial is going on so you don't hear the testimony of the previous witness. So now they brought in all these people to come testify about them buying drugs from me in Virginia, in the Tidewater area. And I'm sitting here looking at these dudes, never seen them a day in my life. Some of them I heard of the names from the street because they was big boys on the street. And now they little cowards on the stand pointing the finger at me. And all I could do, my lawyer told me, yo, when I first went in there, I was laughing when I actually saw what was going on. You know what I mean? And I'm saying to myself, oh, these cowards, man. And I'm laughing like just like this. And the lawyer had to call a timeout, take me to the back and say, no, you can't laugh because you're fighting for your life. And the jury's watching everything you do. And I'm like, yo, but this joint is comical. I don't know none of them dudes. He said, I know, I told you this was going to happen. So I go back in the courtroom, and when I go in the courtroom and they talking, now I got to not show my laugh, but I'm thinking to myself, oh, they so, I can't believe this. You know what I mean? And these are dudes' names that I heard on the street that bust their gun. These are dudes I heard their names on the street for selling multiple kilos. These are dudes I heard on the street, you know, that got all the women, got all the cars, you know what I mean, living like a superstar. And now they're in there testifying against me, and I don't even know them. I don't even know the incident they're talking about. It never happened. But when they grab them people and you go in there, you know what I mean, the things they talking about, you like the things they were talking about with me, I wasn't even charged with. I wasn't even charged with. So I don't even know why they even allowed them to talk about something I wasn't charged with. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even understand it. But they in there saying all this, and the jury's hearing all of this smoke. They pumping a lot of smoke, throwing a lot of wood on the fire with these fabricated stories. And there's nothing I could do about it. But the jury's hearing this, and they thinking, well, if all these people is saying all these different bad things about him, he got to be a bad guy. So now they're going to sway towards finding you guilty because they done heard all these bad things that you did that wasn't even true. You don't even know these people and none of that. But then you're in a messed up situation when you're a man of honor like me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I couldn't get up there and say he's lying. This is what happened. He's lying. That's what happened. I had to just suck it up for 26.5 years. So that's why I'm out here now trying to talk to y'all to let y'all know that, man, that telling ain't cool, man. You decide to break the law. I'm telling you don't break the law. I'm telling you don't get involved in breaking the law. But if you choose to do that, you know that you handle your business for what you agreed to do and what you got caught doing. Don't pull another man in that hid behind the car and got away. Say, oh, he right there, he behind the car, go get him too. I felt good. For 26.5 years, every night, I laid my head on the pillow. Because my comrades was out there living their life, and I'm watching many of them rap careers blow up. I'm watching them turn into moguls. You understand what I'm saying? I'm hearing about them becoming doctors and lawyers, getting their life together and doing what they need to do to be a better person. Because I chose to be a bad person don't mean I was going to pull them in. And that's what people don't understand. Because would you want somebody to tell on you? Ask anybody that's quick to say, man, I'll tell. Ask them, would they want somebody to tell on them? Would they want somebody to give them a life sentence in prison? Is what you ask them. Then you ask them, then how could you give, your comrade a life sentence? I'm talking about people that agreed to break the law together. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all decide to go violate the law and do a crime together. And then now, your comrade gets caught and tell on you. How do you feel? Let me keep it in that realm. How do you feel? How would you feel to watch your best friend, a dude you bought cars, gave him everything, threw parties with, traveled all over the place with, say, oh, that's him, that's unique. We went over here and he spent $20,000 in one store. We went over here, he had them shut the store down and spent $50,000 over in Georgetown. How would you feel? This is what you ask yourself. So like I said, I'm not promoting not snitching. I'm promoting don't break the law. But if you do decide to snitch, you know what I mean, break the law, you know what I mean, you already know this is what it is. Cop your shirt, man. Because you have the right to remain silent. Only reason I'm out now is because I exercised my right to remain silent. I let them testify against me. I let them say everything they had to say against me. And then I exercised my rights by getting a lawyer to fight my case. Then when I went to prison, you know, got my GED, you know, studied the law, you know, took up a number of trades, programmed, took up a number of psychology programs, and worked my way out of prison without bringing anyone in. Without bringing anyone in. Because that's what life is about. You trip and fall and hit your knee. You don't expect your friend to fall and trip and hit his knee because you hit your knee. Because you trip, fall, and get the handcuffs put on you and wind up in prison. You shouldn't expect your friend to get the handcuffs put on him and brought in prison, especially from your mouth. So that's all I'm saying, man. You know, just give it to you real, man. But, you know, cop the book of Roaring Harlem, man. So you see how it all began. This is all the crap I did on the street that landed me in prison when I helped my own for what I did. Not saying, you know, to brag about it or none of that, but just letting it be known that when a man make a mistake, you know what I mean? He pays the consequences for it. He don't point the finger at someone else for them to pay the consequences. He pays the picture for it. Remember that. So that's why I'm telling you, don't do it. Everything in this book, I'm not proud of what I've done. Let me just say that. I'm not proud of what I've done. You know what I mean? But it's a part of my legacy and who I am. I'm not proud of none of that. So I'm telling all y'all, man, you can cop the book at roaringharlem.com or roaringharlem.com. Follow me at Instagram at Unique Mecca Audio, at Facebook at Unique Mecca Audio Hall, Unique Mecca Audio Hall at Facebook, Unique Mecca Audio at Instagram, or roaringharlem.com, www.roaringharlem.com to copy a book and an audio book, man. I'm getting ready to tap out. I just wanted to come in and let y'all know what it's like, man, and for y'all to see the indictment. These are all the pages they use to give me 30 years, man. These are all the pages they use, man. 36-page indictment, they call it. All right? So we here. Just remember, like this video, subscribe to this video, and, you know, continue to do the right thing and don't break the law.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them, cause they the truth them, and bless up to all the road men.